With part 1 open, the first thing you need to do is change the heel height. To do this, we simply open the last editing icon. The flattening will be deleted, but that's absolutely fine, so simply select OK. A new dialog box will appear, and in the heel height section, simply type 94 and then click OK. We now need to reflatten the last, so just click on the flattening icon. All of these settings are absolutely fine, so select OK. This is the flattened view of the last, but we do need the actual model, so just toggle this window and select shoe modelling icon. Okay, now we're ready to create the design lines. Select the style line icon and then the stencil icon. In this section we can import an Illustrator file, so just open image file or object, then select the design lines. We do need to change the file type to AI curves and then select open. Click on the right view icon and now we can toggle the image over the last. Can change the size and positioning. And then select the wrap icon. And these are the wrapped lines. Now we need to come out of this mode and then we can edit the lines. You can select the lines and hit the delete button to get rid of the unwanted lines, and select other lines and use the points to extend them. Points can also be added to the lines by using the insert delete point icon. Once the outside lines are completed, we can select them all and then hit the unlinked mirror icon, and they've been mirrored over to the other side. These lines will be slightly edited and then they'll match the outside ones. A sock can now be created. To do this, you simply select the sketch style line icon and then hold down the Alt key and you can simply draw on the bottom of the last. And then if you hover the last point over the first, a grey circle appears, and if you just select on that, then a complete circle is created. Once these lines are edited, all of the design lines are complete. With the design lines complete, we can now begin creating the panel pieces. First, select the piece icon from the top of the screen. As you can see, the pieces on the outside of the shoe have already been created. We are going to make those on the inside. To do this, first select the Create Shoe Piece icon from the left-hand side. The pieces can be made in two different ways. The first is to select the center of the panel you wish to create. This will instantly create the panel. The second, which is generally used for more complex shapes, is to trace the boundary. Simply select the lines corresponding to the piece you wish to create. At this point we can also create the sock piece. Simply select the line drawn on the bottom of the last. Right-click to exit this mode and we can now begin editing the panels. The panels can be edited in a number of ways. Materials can be dragged onto the panels by opening the Materials library, selecting the panel, and then selecting whether you want the outside surface, the edge, or the inside. Select these and then select a colour. You can also drag the colour onto the piece. For this tutorial, we're going to use the Paste Attributes button to apply our materials. First select the pre-drawn panel on the outside of the shoe. Then select the Paste Attributes button. Make sure all of the attributes are turned on, and then select the corresponding panel. Right-click to exit this mode. This has transferred the offset, thickness, and materials. We are also going to complete the last panel with this method. Select the outside panel, the Paste Attributes button, and then the inside panel. And then right-click to exit this mode. We are now going to edit the sock on the bottom of the last. Double-click the sock, and a new text box will appear. This text box will allow you to change the offset and thickness. This can also be done using the scroll bars on the left-hand side of the screen. For this tutorial, we are going to use -1 for the offset and 1 for the thickness. Simply select OK, and the offset and thickness will be changed. Now that the panels are completed, we're going to add an edge treatment. We're going to create a closed seam down the front of the shoe. To do this, first select the Create Piece Edge treatment from the left-hand side. Select the piece on the outside, and then this edge down the front of the last. Then select the seam icon from the left-hand side. Again, right-click to exit this mode, and the seam is created. Do the same on the panel on the inside of the shoe. The panels are now completed. With the panels completed, we can now add stitching to the model. To do this, first select the stitch icon from the top of the screen. As you can see, some of the stitching has already been added. We are going to create the rest of the stitching. First, select the Create Edge Stitching icon from the left-hand side. Select the first panel, and then these 3 edges. Click on the Create Edge Stitch icon, and then right-click, and the stitching has been created. We can now create stitching on the last panel. Again, select the Create Edge Stitching icon, the panel, and then these 2 edges. Create the edge stitch, and then right-click to exit the mode. Now that the stitching has been created, we can edit it. As you can see, the pre-drawn stitching is slightly larger and further apart than the new stitches. The stitching can be edited in several ways. You can simply select the line and then use the scroll bars on the left-hand side to edit them, but we need the stitching to all look exactly the same. So we are going to select this line here and then use the Paste Attributes option. Select it, make sure all of the attributes are turned on, and then select each of the new lines. Hover over the lines until they're grey and then click on them. Right click to exit this mode and the stitching is complete. We can now add eyelets down the front of the shoe. Open the accessories option from the top of the screen. The eyelets on the outside of the shoe have already been created. We can simply select these eyelets and use the unlinked mirror option to transfer them across to the other side. Select this new line and use the points to edit it. Once in position, hold the Shift key and select the other line. With both lines selected, click the Create Punch Through material icon and the eyelets are created. Right click to exit the mode. With the eyelets added to the design, we can now begin to apply lacing. First, select the lace icon from the top of the screen. Then, select the over-under lacing from the left-hand side. Select the first set of eyelets, hold down the Shift key, and select the second. Right-click, and the laces are produced. To change the appearance of the laces, select them all, then open the Materials library. Make sure the lace option is open, and then choose this material. Right-click to exit the mode. Looking at the laces, this one in particular is not quite right. Double-click it and a new text box will appear. Using this text box, we can reposition the laces. First, select the middle and deselect the end. Decrease the move away, and then select the end and unselect the middle, and then increase the move away. Select OK, and this will apply the changes. Right-click. With the laces finished, we can now apply a logo to the sock design. First, select the sock. Then, open the Display Wrap toolbar. Open the image. This one is a JPEG called Logo. Select it and then select Open. Change the view to top view using the right-hand side, and then toggle the image until it's small enough to fit on the sock, and then position it near the heel. When it's in the right position, select the Wrap toolbar, and then reselect the Display Wrap toolbar to exit the mode. Now the sock is complete. With the upper complete, we can now add a sole to the design. First, select the sole icon from the top of the screen. Then, select the insole icon from the left-hand side. An insole will be instantly added to your design. Now select the midsole icon from the left-hand side. Double-click the midsole and make sure the thickness at the toe and heel is set to 5 and the lateral distance from the feather line is 4. Select OK, and we can now begin to use the Advanced mode. Select the Advanced Power Mode button from the lower right-hand side. First, we need to add a work plane. Select the work plane option from the top of the screen, then enter 0 into the text box, and then select Enter. We are now going to use the curve option. Select Curve, and then create a composite curve. Select the bottom of the midsole, and then use the Fast Forward option from the Composite Curve toolbar. Once the curve's created, select the Save option, and then Eject. We can now create the extrusion. Select the surface icon, make sure the work plane is set to X, and then select Extrusion. We can now drag the extrusion downwards until it's around the right place. Double click on the extrusion and we can change the draft angle. This needs to be 6. Then select OK. Right click to exit the mode. We can now create the platform from this point. But to do this, we first need a stencil to follow. Reselect the Sole section. Open the Display Wrap toolbar once again, then click the Image Object or File, and open the Platform stencil. Make sure the View from Right is turned on, and then begin to toggle the image over the extrusion. Once in position, do not wrap, simply go back into the Advanced mode. Then select the Curve option from the left-hand side and begin drawing through the stencil, following this line. Simply right-click to end the line, and then use this line to create another extrusion. Go into Surfaces, then Extrusion, toggle round, double-click the extrusion, select Equal Lengths, then OK. This extrusion can now be used to cut into the first. With it selected, go into the General Edits option, then select Limit Selection, and select the first extrusion. Click Next Solution, and then Next Solution again, and the first area of the platform is created. Select Close, and it's complete. We can now go back into the Sole area, into the Display toolbar, and delete the stencil as it's no longer needed. Back into Advanced mode, and we can just reverse this panel by right-clicking it and selecting Reverse. We are now going to create a sole on the platform. To do this, make sure that this work plane is active by right-clicking it and selecting Active. We are going to create another composite curve around the base of this platform. Select the base, and then use the Fast Forward button from the Composite Curve toolbar. Select Save and Eject. Make sure the X-axis is turned on, and then create the next extrusion. Double-click the extrusion, direction 2, change that to 20, direction 1 to 0, and there will be no draft angle. Select OK to apply these settings. We now need to cut a piece out of the sole. To do this, select the line icon. Select the single line, make sure the Z-axis is locked, and then draw a single line through the new extrusion, going straight down. Turn this line into another extrusion, double-clicking it, selecting Equal Length, and then OK. Again, use this to cut through the extrusion by selecting it, going into General Edits option, selecting Limit Selection, and then selecting the Sole extrusion. Select Next Selection, and there it is complete. You can now cut and create a bottom through the sole. Select the Curve option, and then the Curve option from the left-hand side. Again, keep the Z-axis locked, and draw a line through the sole, keeping it equal to the bottom of the platform. Again, end the line with a right click, select it, and then create another extrusion from it. Double click, select Equal Lengths and OK. With the new extrusion selected, go into the General Edits option, then Limit Selection, and then this sole piece. Select Next Solution. We now just need to trim this area here. Select this surface, and then this surface. Then select Next Solution, and the sole is complete. Select Close to exit the toolbar. We can now apply a heel to the design. To do this, go back into the sole area and select Heel. We do need to create a reference to the surface, so select Yes, and then select this surface here, and OK. As you can see, a heel is instantly created. We can use this new dialog box to edit the heel. First, go into the top piece. We need to make the top piece a lot smaller and slimmer, so we're going to decrease them, sliding them towards the left-hand side. Once this is done, simply select OK, and the heel is created. With the extra sole added to the design, we need to create an extra top piece on the heel. To do this, go back into the Advanced mode, then create a composite curve around the base of the existing top piece. Save and then eject. We can then create an extrusion from this. Use the mouse to pull the extrusion down and quite a long length. Then select the line, the single line, put a single line through the new extrusion, making sure it's in line with the new sole. Select this line and then create another extrusion from it. Double clicking it and making it equal lengths. Select OK. With it selected, open the General Edits options, then Limit Selection, and then select the new top piece. Click Next Solution, and then close the dialog box, and the top piece has been created. We can now use the Accept Changes and Finish option from the top of the screen. With the heel and unit completed, we can begin to add materials. With the Materials library open, select the Current Model section from the left-hand side. For the main bulk of the platform, we are going to use the dark grey colour. Simply drag the grey colour onto the platform. We can also select the areas and then select the colour. For the heel, we're going to use the lighter grey. Again, drag the colour to the heel. To colour the underside, select and then select the colour. For the sole and top piece, we are going to use the shiny black colour. Select it and drag it onto the sole, making sure each surface has been coloured. Do the same for the top piece. For the midsole, we're going to use the light grey colour again, and then for the insole, we're going to use the dark grey. The shoe is now complete.